Another edition of Living the Dream. I told you people I'm going to be more consistent now that the summertime golf is done. Now the kids are kind of going back to school. I'm back in the garage studio of the Bethel Vision Studios. I took down the backdrop. So you hear the garage door. The garage door is back. I got the sign for Imagine That Workshop, all that other good stuff. Put the shirts on. Really cool, real excited. And thanks to everybody that been telling me, damn, Bethel, you're back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm back, man. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I told you guys the Living the Dream podcast is about passion. It's about fun. It's about me connecting with people that I have an opportunity to talk to. And if I don't feel like I have anybody cool that week, I'm not going to do it. One, I'm not getting paid for it. And two, why waste my time just talking about myself when I could be golfing or drinking some beer or some wine or just hanging out. But do remind you that on Tuesdays we have the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast with former Blue Jays Ricky Romero and Josh Tolley. That's every Tuesday live at 10 o'clock. And on Thursday I do the boxing podcast Thursdays. And as always, Sundays, CBS 2 with Jim Hill. Been going to Charger camp with the Rams camp, seeing some good things. This weekend, actually in a few hours, I'm taking off. I'm going to Frisco, Texas, to the Star at Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys training facility. Virgil Ortiz is the main event against the Mean Machine. That'll be live on The Zone. I will be doing the undercard, so the first 4 fights of the night will be available on the Golden Boy YouTube, Facebook, and also on DAZN's YouTube. So you'll hear me doing the play-by-play for those 4 fights, and then I'll be posting the press conference, a bunch of other stuff. Just follow the social medias at Bethel Vision all week long. Now, the cool thing is, this is, okay, you know how I go on soapbox, people? And especially if you're one of the young reporters and you hear like me sounding like I'm a salty dude in his 40s now and like I sound like I'm preaching all the time. Today's guest is an example of what I'm always talking about. How if you're going to get into this jacked up broadcasting business, which is one of the worst things in the world, once again, the job is amazing, the business sucks. Know what you're getting yourself into. Hustle, research, know who everybody is. Now, I've told the story how a couple years ago, people asked me, Dad, how do you know everything about everybody who's in the business? I'm like, well, because you should know who your competition is. You should know who you're going up against. And also, you should know who your colleagues are. You should know something about them because if you ever run into them, you want to have an ability to have a connection. I'm like, hey, who are you, right? And that networking leads to other things. Somebody asked me yesterday, a young man I mentor, he said, should I apply for a job in Las Vegas? And I said, yeah, man, go for it. He tells me, well, it's not exactly the job I want. It's half of the job I want, but half of the job I don't want. And I told him, well, then how about you take half of you and quit the business? Because the days of you being able to demand something, they don't exist. You're not good enough. You're not a big time name. So in this slim pickings market, get in where you can fit in. What happened, and I'm not being a jerk about it, but I told him, just quit. Just if you have any kind of hesitation, quit. Go get the normal 9-to-5 job. The guy goes on the interview, nails it, gets a second interview. And I'm like, look, I'm not trying to say I know everything, but go after it. It's a dream. The name of the podcast is called Living the Dream. Live your dream. Now, today's guest, I found him on social media. How? Because I tell you guys, if you're a young broadcaster, if you're a young athlete, sell yourself, promote yourself, provide content. Don't be like those teenagers where they have 1,000 followers and then only 3 pictures posted. It's like, well, who are you? Like, what do I know about you? Post the content, get after it, interact. I know I'm sounding like Gary Vee right now, where you're supposed to leave comments and interact, all that other stuff, but it happened. So you guys know about a year ago, I really got into golf. It's just for fun. I'm messing around. I'm a hacker. I'm not a country club kind of guy, but if you want to invite me to Rolling Hills, I'll go. Riviera, I'll go. And I like the different brands, and you know, I have my own style. But I see people going out there and producing content, and I'm like, this is cool. I'm like, hey, that's nice. That's nice. There's a brand I came across called Nation Golf. And before that, I came into birdies and doubles. I like their logo, BD. Take pride, like their gloves. But this Nation Golf, I'm like, wow, retro style, Sinatra style, old school, Palm Springs, just cool. And I like that. I started leaving comments on their account like, that's a cool shirt. That's a cool shirt. And I posted on my story that I was going to debating between buying 2 different shirts. It turns out that the account responds to me. And mind you, I wasn't looking for anything free. That's not my style. But if you want to send it to me, go ahead. But I wasn't looking for something free. I just was asking, which should I get? The person writes back, they're like, Bethel Duran? I'm like, yeah, because that's my name on Instagram. They're like, I know who you are. I'm Adam Hawk. And I'm like, Adam Hawk? The executive producer of the Jim Rome Show? on radio. Adam Hawk, who's been a radio producer here in LA, who I've never met ever, but once again, know who's in the business, knows who works where, get going back and forth. It turns out Adam Hawk, executive producer of the Jim Rome radio show, running the Jungle and the Clones, left the radio world to go pursue being the co-owner of Nation Golf. Like, if that's not the example of living the dream, I don't know what it is. And without further ado, a long intro, the one and only Adam Hawk joins us right now. Adam Hawk, woo!
What's up, Beto? Thanks for having me. Anyone that's listening to this podcast just got some of the best advice about the business I've ever heard. Everything you just said was spot on. And people need to take what you said in the beginning and just make that their personal Bible for going after this business. You've been in it a long time. I know who you are and have known who you are for a long time. Everything that you just said was like gospel, man. I enjoyed listening to that. That was great.
We're going to have some fun today. So Adam, I don't know anything about him. I just know that the shirt that he's wearing right there is from Nations Golf, a company that he's the co-owner and the chief marketing officer for. And Adam, give people your story, the background. You were in radio for a long time, and then all of a sudden you just said, F it, I'm done, I'm quitting, I'm gone?
Yeah, I mean, that's the truncated version of it. I started in radio in Seattle in 2009 as an intern. And what's funny is when I moved down to Los Angeles, I had an offer similar to the one you were discussing at the beginning in the introduction about the kid who heard about something that he was halfway invested into, halfway not, but you just got to jump into it. And that was to work for Jack FM, which is a music station. I always wanted to work in sports, but the best advice I got at the time was just get your foot in the door. Just work in radio in any way that you can, and other things will happen. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in the game in any way possible. You'll meet a lot of people there. They'll have a lot of different connections, and then you can make it work that way. So I did, and I became a promotions assistant, which is you're a glorified guy that hands out stickers at gas stations and concerts. But I ultimately ended up meeting the right people, and I got over to NBC Sports Radio, which launched in 2012. It no longer exists, but it was a great opportunity to learn the business from the ground floor because it was a brand new network. So a lot of hands-on experience of building a national network, working with a lot of talent. And even though not a lot of people were listening, the work was still the work. You could be working on the biggest show in the world or something that nobody listens to. You still got to put the work in, and you got to do quality work. You still learn a lot. And ultimately, that will get you other opportunities. So I moved from NBC Sports Radio to produce the Fred Rogan Show on the Beast 980, which was afternoon drive in Los Angeles. We were running as the third horse behind 710 ESPN and 570 KLAC. But again, it didn't matter where we were. It was just about everything that I was learning and the work that we were doing, and meeting Fred, who's a big-time Los Angeles personality, working with the Clippers, and just building up my resume, my experience. And then they came in one day, this happens in radio, and said, we're not going to be a sports radio station anymore. We're going to be a Mexican music station, which great music, but I was out of a job. And my wife was pregnant, so I had to scramble. But because I had that experience, which would have never happened if I didn't work at the music station at Jack FM, because I had the NBC Sports and the Beast 980, I was able to get a job quickly at Fox Sports Radio producing the JT the Brick Show. And one of the guys that I met at the Beast 980, Chris Myers, did me a great favor and put my name in front of Jim Rome's manager, Craig Kitchen. So when Jim needed a new producer, because his producer, Kyle Brandt, went to the NFL Network, Craig called me. So again, to go back to that wonderful advice you gave at the beginning, you just have to get in the game and crush it and hustle. And like you said, know your colleagues, know your competition. You never know who's going to be speaking about you when you're not in the room. And that's what Chris Myers did for me. And because of Chris Myers, I got to talk to Craig. And because of that and my experience, I got the job with Jim. We had a great 5-year run. I relocated my family from LA to Orange County. And then just recently, I decided I don't want to do this anymore. I had to be very honest with myself. The fire went out. And in this game, Beto, every single day we're chasing content. You are watching the games, talking about the games, writing about the games, producing the games, following these guys on social media, because they're all now on Twitter and Instagram, and they give you just as good of stuff there as they do on the court. you're responsible for following all of that stuff too. So it was a super fun job, but having two kids, I just was realizing I was kind of watching them grow up peripherally on the side and not really involved in their life as I wanted to be, because I was just glued to my screens all the time. And simultaneously, I had started working with Nation Golf as a co-owner and CMO, but it was a side hustle. And I said to myself, I love this. Like, I am as passionate about Nation Golf as I once was about radio. I'm gonna flip that. I'm going to make this the main thing. And so I had to have a heart to heart with Jim Rome and say, hey, you know, I got to make a change. It's not you, it's me, kind of thing. And it was very important to me to leave that legacy show in as good of a place, if not better, than I found it. So I said I would like to stick around, train my replacement, get him up to speed so there's not a giant learning curve. So you're in a really good spot. And once we all feel comfortable that this show is where it should be with me leaving, I will show myself the door. And that happened late last month. July 23rd was my last day. I said goodbye to everyone. And now I am full-time Nation Golf co-owner with one of my best friends and the founder of the company, Ryan Engel. And it's a two-man crew down here in San Clemente. I'm in the warehouse right now, and we're packing orders as we speak.
Dude, that's the truncated version, but you just said a lot. First of all, the fact that you even got to where you did on the radio side is awesome, because that's the hustle of meeting somebody. Throwing out the shirts, the promotions, that's exactly how I started at ESPN Radio. People are like, oh, internship. Like, no. I was the dude who, the reason I got hired, and I give a lot of credit to Tommy Lamb, who's still now the vice president of promotions and all that other stuff at ESPN. He hired me because I had AAA insurance. So in 2001, we used to drive a big expedition for ESPN Radio back then, 1110. And he's like, wait a minute, you got AAA insurance? I'm like, because my dad had it. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, you're over 21? Clean driving record? You're kind of fit, because usually a promotions crew is one guy, 3 girls, right? So I'm the guy who can lift the heavy box and I could drive, I could throw out the shirts, and that's how I had it. And I snuck my way in to meet David Vassay, who now does Dodgers pre and post, Joe McDowell, that other stuff. But we have the same background, where get in where you can fit in and figure out where you can and get after it. Now, in the last couple of years, I've also had the thoughts of, okay, what am I going to do next? Like, radio was fun. I don't do radio anymore. I do TV and I do the podcast and I evolve and all that other stuff, mentioned the play-by-play. But I'm always thinking about what's next down the road. I still have that idea for myself, like, okay, am I really going to be able to leave it? I know I'm going to be in some capacity, but you went and said, F it, I'm done with everything. Like, essentially your life's work to go and bet on yourself. That's scary, isn't it?
It's very scary. Not only because of the responsibility I have for my wife and my 2 kids, and the fact that we need to pay bills, and Southern California isn't cheap by any means, and the Jim Rome show was a comfortable income for us.
And
it's
guaranteed
scary.
Money.
Yeah, that's right. That paycheck, is coming every 2 weeks. It's direct deposit. You don't even need to think about it. You just know that you're going to be able to make ends meet. This is different. This is, you are creating your own income every single day. You don't know exactly what it's going to be at the end of the month, so you got to hustle. But the scary part isn't just the money and providing for a family. The scary part is this business is very congruent. Like, you're either in it or you're not. And I knew that if I fully stepped out of it, the business is going to keep going. It's going to forget about me in a much shorter time than it took to know who I was. And it's probably already forgotten about me, which is fine. But that was part of the scary thing, is you put over a decade into it, you work your way up on that very linear ladder, you get to a very high spot, and then you're like, I'm jumping off of this ladder. This is something I once loved. I might have a little bit of regret later, but you just got to do it. You got to go all in for it. So the scary part is, this is my life's work, or was my life's work, and it's no longer that. So it was like a breakup with my first love, which was radio. And that was tough, because I really did. I loved radio for a long time, and then I didn't. And so that's weird to not be a radio guy anymore. I thought, Beto, in this business, I've worked in it for 11 years. And that is not even that long when you talk about radio people. Like, it's long for any other job, but like, I wasn't even at my half-life with radio or broadcasting, because people in this business will do it until they can't do it anymore. And you're talking for a living. It's not physical labor. You can be in this business for as long as you want to be, and most people are. You look at Vin Scully's run. You look at who's on TV in LA, and God bless them, but they're in it for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I could have for the rest of my life. I decided to stop when I was 34, and it was kind of scary.
34.
But yeah,
Damn.
yeah. I've been told I am the youngest looking old guy or the oldest looking young guy because
Okay.
I've got the gray hair going. The radio will age you pretty quick. A lot of vending machine meals, a lot of 8 cups of coffee a day. You age kind of quick when you do radio.
Yeah, and you're dealing with the jungle and the clones and all that other good
Right.
stuff. You're trying to figure out if Ira Rady and who other clones?
Ira Craig,
Ira Craig, Silk Bro,
okay.
all them other guys.
Yeah.
You got to deal with Smack Off and Who Wants to Get In, and oh man,
Yep.
that's another story for another day, or
Yeah.
some swing lube. All right, so like people
That's
listen to the podcast, and I always try to inspire them. And I know a lot of people that listen. I've been doing it for 5 years. When ESPN let me go, I was like, where can I go and just keep a voice out there to keep myself in the mix, 1 foot in, and also semi-relevant, and as you said it, out of sight, out of mind. So I'll do the podcast for a while, then I'll take a break because something happens or whatever. But I love doing it because I love telling stories like yours or hearing your stories. I always say everybody has a story. What's yours? And we're hearing you. And I know a lot of people that listen because they'll send me a private message. They'll say, hey, I'm a guy who's stuck in my job because I'm 5 years away from retirement, or I got this, or I got that, whatever it is. And I understand that. Not everybody can just get up and leave and go chase their dream. But if they can live vicariously through us, that's awesome. We can help them. But at the same time, we heard messages where, hey, you're helping me to get through the day in this terrible job that I got. But hey, your entertainment is providing it. At least I can have some kind of entertainment and know that there's somebody out there doing what they got to do. Now, you mentioned you had the executive producer job at Jim Rome, which is hard to get. You have the guaranteed income. You got the benefits. You got all that other stuff. And you go and you tell your wife, hey, this is what I want to do on the side hustle, which is great. But mi amor, ya me voy, se acabó. Like, how does that conversation happen? And don't tell me she's supportive, because we know she's supportive and we know she's amazing. We know she loves you. But at the same time, you kind of did
Yeah, it's a great question because that was a very hard conversation to have because half of it was she was happy with the decision because she knew that it was taking a toll on me and it was taking a toll on the family. And that's not to disparage the job or the Jim Rome show or Jim himself.
Of course.
But she had to live with me every single day. So she saw what it was like, and she saw that I wasn't as available to be a helpful dad as I wanted to be. So part of her was very, very happy that this change was coming because she knew that it would ultimately benefit her and the kids, and my mindset would be a lot different. The other half, scared out of her mind. Like, what are we going to do? We have kids that they go to the doctor frequently because they're kids, and now the benefits are gone. What are we going to do for money? And right now, to be honest with you, like we're very much in the flux position. Luckily, I had put away some money to float us, so we're good for this. But like what I'm banking on is that the more hours I can put into Nation, the more profitable it will be, and it will ultimately get me to the level that I need to get to. And I think I've done the math correctly to where this will be enough to support the family. It's just going to take hours put into it that I could not put into it if I was doing the Jim Rome show or any other job. So you have to ask yourself, like, if I'm doing a side hustle 2 hours a day, but you know that it really needs 8 to 10, do you have that financial security to go and put those 8 to 10 hours a day in, leave what you were doing, and know that, like, hey, by the time this stuff starts to pay off, we're going to be fine? And that's the gamble. That is the literal gamble. There's the phrase like, hey, you're betting on yourself. The literal bet is this chip will cash in time before that financial cushion runs out.
There's a lot of people listening who are probably like, yeah, I wanted to do that. I could have done that. Adam, where did it come from to say, F it, I'm doing it?
It came from two things. One is I had to have a fire burn out, and two, I had to have another one start. And I've
Okay,
seen
okay, okay,
enough.
okay, okay. I get you there. I get you there. You got the fires. But Adam, where did it get to where you said, "F it"? I'm getting myself, and I'm just doing it because a lot of people, oh, it's not there, but they'll kind of the trepidation. But where did you say, "F"? Today's the day. Today's the damn day.
Specifically, it happened after Easter weekend when I just thought, like, I hope for sometime in my life I can have a holiday weekend where I'm not thinking about sports. Where I'm not worried about it. I hope I can just watch my kids do the Easter egg hunt and not check my phone every 2 seconds.
Yeah,
So specifically, that's when it happened. When I was like, I want something different for myself.
yeah,
What made me really jump is I genuinely put me on a lie detector test, believe that Nation Golf is on a rocket ship to the moon. I think that it has tapped into a niche in the market. I know that the customer base is there. 25 million Americans play golf more now than ever because it was the only safe activity in the month of May after COVID
mm-hmm,
first hit in March 2020. So now you've got more customers than ever. And if we can organically grow something, a brand where there are faces to the brand, it's not like Nike or Callaway or Titleist where you don't know the people who are running it. If you go onto our Instagram who's running this, that it's two dads, where we work, what we do, where we play golf, what we're into, what we drink, what cigars we smoke. And we feel like if you buy into us, that you'll buy what we are selling, because the clothes, even though that's what makes us the money and what we are selling, is we're really selling more of like a lifestyle
yeah,
than clothes. Like, we want you to feel a certain way when you're watching our videos, when you ultimately pull the trigger, buy a shirt, put it on, go to the golf course and go, man, it feels good to look good. I'm getting compliments on this. I don't look like I'm wearing a fitted soccer jersey with my nipples sticking out, and I'm untucked, and I look like a slob, Like, hey, maybe I will try long pants today. Maybe I will tuck my shirt in, and then, wow, I feel good, and I like the pictures people took of me, and I'm glad that I made that decision with Nation Golf. Like, I really believe
good
there's
for you.
enough. Thank you. I believe there's
Good
enough
for
of a
you.
market for that, and enough people that will believe in that. So it came from the belief of what we're doing is going to hit big. And when Beto, like, new media is a real thing. You don't need to wait for somebody to offer you a job to be doing content. Your phone has turned everyone into a podcaster, has
Yep.
turned everyone into an influencer. You have the tools at your disposal. You don't have to wait for infrastructure anymore. You can create your own infrastructure. And so, because we have those tools, because the internet exists and we can sell clothes straight to consumer, we feel like we have it all in place. And you watch guys like Pat McAfee and brands like Barstool, who, for the record, I am not a fan of their content. I am a fan of how they went from passing out newspapers at subway stations to being
Yep.
one of the biggest media companies in the world. And they did it non-traditionally. They did it because the consumer likes the guys almost as much, probably more, than the content that the
Mm-hmm.
guys put out.
Yep.
And so if you like the guys and you believe in the guys, you show your belief in them with your wallet. And
Yeah.
we're not greedy people, but it's like, hey, we would like you to buy our stuff because you're supporting us versus going to Roger Dunn and just picking a shirt off the rack.
Okay. Yeah, and it's we'll get into the business and all that other stuff, what Nation Golf is all about. But I just love hearing your story once again because I don't know you, but I admire you for going and chasing your dream, and like for you to say that there was a fire that was done. A lot of people don't realize that when you're working in sports, it's a grind every single day. When people are like, "Dan, you always on your phone?" Yes, I have to be. But you ain't working today. Yeah, but I got to stay in the mix. I still got to understand what's going on because on Sundays when I'm on CBS2 and Jim Hill will ask me a random question about something, I better be prepared for something because you can't have the question scripted for you all the time. So you've got to be able to go back and forth and know what's going on. Like I haven't worked a Dodger game in a long time, but I still know what's going on with them. Like it
Yep.
just, you have to, your mind is always on all the time. So I admire you for saying and looking in the mirror like, damn, I'm done here. Like That's good because
Yeah.
a lot of people that hang on, all of a sudden they become the salty, bitter guy in the press box, who I usually make fun of, and they're a lot of my
Yeah.
friends. So go after it.
Right.
But you go and you chase that. That's great. But what you say about Barstool, though, I'm right there with you. I don't like their approach. I don't like their style, but I'm not going to knock their hustle and the way that they're being really successful because you got to understand your brand. Like when people tell me, "Oh, your brand is this," and I hate sounding like that because I think I'm just a dude. But then I understand that I connect with a certain Latino audience. I connect with a certain facet who is in their 40s. Like I started golfing last year. Why? Because I realized I'm a dude in my 40s. Like I don't need to be skateboarding or like covering the X Games anymore. Like I mean, as fun as much fun as that was, like you got to know where you're at and you got to know where you could fit in. So I started doing it, and I realized that I have a lot of stuck-up friends that I don't want to golf with. Like that's guys like they're really good, but they're full of themselves, and they're some of my good friends. But then I have my friends who are like, "This is cool, this is fun, let's go mess around." Like I posted today, like me been doing the Happy Gilmore just for stupid stuff. I don't actually golf like that. People, but that gets the clicks, that gets the content, that gets the reaction. Like I don't wear fancy golf shoes. I go to Golf Kicks. I got a box right here. Like I screw, like I screw my kicks right onto my Vans. I play in Vans. Like that's who I am. I'm a muni kind of guy. So I ran across your brand, and I'm always like, I like dressing up nice, but I'm like, that's not me because that's a little too much. But then I liked your style. I read the story about Nation Golf, how it's homage to the grandfather and how he would have his own golf tournament. And the reason I found you guys is because you have your own beer, Swing Lube. Like, I'm like, this is cool. So tell me about Nations Golf and exactly what it is and what you guys want to do with it.
So you're right. It is an homage to our founder's grandfather, TK Lycan. He had a tournament out in the desert. And if you've ever been out to the Palm Springs area, you know that it's just a place that's stuck in time. It's like mid-century everything, 1950s. It's beautiful. Yeah, we got the classic cart going right there. So there's this feeling out there where you're like, I kind of want to take this and bring it back to the other side of the 10 freeway. Like I want this feeling everywhere. Like I like the look of it. And so Nation Golf is, we don't have to forecast fashion trends. We just have to open up the history books and look back at these guys. If you go look at pictures of Arnold Palmer and Jack back in the day, they look as good now as they did back then.
Yeah, man.
Up with this word that we really love, which is timeless. And like the pure definition of timeless is it knows no time. A picture from 1950 looks as good then as it does in 2021. So Nation Golf is, we don't have to forecast any fashion trends. We just have to look back, look at these guys that look so good, so dapper. And it's not about being stuffy. Like that's not what it's about. It's not about like making you feel any worse for the way that you look or anything. It's just about bringing like a aura back to the game that we feel should have never died. We always tell people, if you try on one of our shirts and you tuck it in and you put on some long pants and you look at yourself in the mirror and someone takes a picture of you out there, it's really hard to go back the other way. This isn't about country clubs. It's not about paying thousands of dollars in dues. It's not about your scorecard. It's not about any of that. It's just about looking and feeling great and just being kind of just swanking out, just the swanky vibe of dressing up to play golf. And it's not a costume party because costume's kind of gimmicky. This is really what we believe and what we're all about. And so, there's a degree of us that wants to convince other people to do it, but then you're either one of us or you're not. Like, and I don't mean that in like
in a good way. I get you.
Yeah. So like there will be people that find us and they're like, I have been looking for this for so long. I can't believe that I finally found it. And really, Beto, why I think that this thing is on a rocket ship to the moon is no one is doing it. Everyone is doing the loud floral prints with flamingos and palm trees all over a golf shirt that feels like it was made out of the material of a women's bikini. And it's like, oh, stretch fit, slim fit, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, you're going to look back at those pictures in 3 years and wonder what the hell you were wearing.
Yeah. I got a couple of those shirts.
Yeah. Good for you. The picture you look at right now is a picture that you were looking at right there. It's a picture that in 20 years, like our kids are going to see them big. Damn, Dad, you were fly as hell. Like
hell yeah.
That was time right there. So that's what we believe. We just believe we are making clothes that will stand the test of time.
Yeah, and like for me, I started, like look, I was a mutie guy. I still am. I still go by the muties,
Same
and
here. Same here.
I was like t-shirt. But I'm like, you still got to respect the game. You got to have a collar. So I go to Ross or I go to Burberry. I mean Burberry, Burlington Factory, and I buy my Travis Matthew polos for like $12. But I'm like, I'm not gonna spend $90 on a polo that everybody else has when it's just a polo, right? I'm like, ah.
Yeah.
And then I come across you guys. Once again, this isn't a commercial. I haven't got anything free. It's not that. I actually bought a shirt and everything. But you're right. I also have some of those flower golf shirts because I'm that guy that just loves to be a little bit louder to piss off my bougie friends. So, and I also realize that I'm in my 40s. I don't need to be wearing a baseball hat all the time. So I've been wearing the fedora. I've been cool. And I'm like, what can I do that a little bit? And I'm like, this brand, as you said, you're either with us or you're against it. Not, you're either with us or you're not. It's not that it's a click. It's just more of, hey, look good, feel good, play good, right? Like Deion Sanders, like that's kind of what it is right there. It's an attitude without being full of yourself, because I like that you guys promote drinking and smoking while you're playing golf. I love that.
That's it, and that's thank you, and that's why we really believe this is a game, not a sport. That's always the debate: is golf a game or a sport? If you can do it with a cigar in your mouth, half drunk, that's a game. Like you go and you play darts or you shoot pool. That's a game, and it's more fun because those are social games. Golf is a social game. The reason why everyone loves golf so much isn't because of the act of hitting the ball, even though that is fun. It's being outside with your friends for 4 hours, 5 hours. There's no other thing that provides that opportunity where you are breathing fresh air and you're talking to your buddies and you're talking shit and there's banter. And if you can do all that while being the best dressed guys on the course, and by the way, we were at San Clemente Municipal Golf Course. That's a $40 round of golf. We are not country club kids. We do have a membership out at Indian Wells, but that was grandfathered to us. It's not about being all stuck up or pretentious. None of us are like that. We're not stuck up or pretentious. We just look back and we see these guys who look so much cooler than the guys in the bad birdie polos or the Travis Matthew polos. No disrespect to your Travis Matthew polo. And it's like, hey, let's do that. They paved the way and no one's doing it. Let's go build a giant bridge between yesteryear and today and see if anyone wants to walk on it with us.
That's cool. I love that attitude. But now, Adam, what the hell do you know about clothes, man?
Well, luckily,
you were doing radio. You were answering the phones. You were saying, I don't like that call. You were working about the fax machine. You were like trying to figure out what tweet or what's going on or who you're going to hang up on, who you're dumping on the radio. Go ahead, get your beer. Do what you got to do. There it is. And you're dealing with that.
Red Bull, actually.
Oh, Red Bull. Oh, there's no need for that. Come on now. You just played golf.
Well, that's how wiped out you get. But to your question, what do I know about clothes? It's a great question. The good thing is I didn't need to know anything. The brains behind the design is the founder of the company, Ryan Engel. He is the guy who has the knack. He's the guy who grew up watching his grandpa do all of it. He's the guy who had the vision that I bought into completely. I've used this analogy before, and I just can't think of a better one, so I'm going to use it again. The show Breaking Bad, which many people have seen. Have you seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He's Walter White. He makes the best meth on the planet. I'm Jesse Pinkman. I can sell it. I learned so much about promoting, podcasting, radio, PR, marketing, and I've got all these connections. So when I met Ryan Engel, I pitched him on the idea of, you're making the best stuff in the world. I believe in it so much that I want to join you. I want to buy in. I want to own part of this company, and I'm going to sell it for you. You don't need to worry about that. Just be you. Keep designing it, and then I'll help us push it out there. And so if we were two of the same guys, this company wouldn't work. We bring two very different things to it. We're very like-minded in fashion and everything like that, but I couldn't sit down at the computer and put together a tech pack and send it to a factory to have it made. He can. Vice versa. I'm the guy that's like emailing people, putting ads on Instagram, coming up with, ways to get this out there. And that's why it works, is I bring my skill level to it and he already had his. So when it comes to who knows clothes, that's all him.
You're Jesse from Breaking Bad.
And he's Walter White. He's got that blue meth, and it's just Walter wouldn't know what to do without Jesse, and Jesse wouldn't have
Mhm.
anything to sell without Walter. So that's the partnership.
That's awesome. So all right, so how do it? Okay, I don't know anything about clothing lines or brands or anything like that. I just know what I like. So
Hmm.
it's 2021. You don't need a store anymore, right? Everything's online now.
Correct. You do not need a store. You need internet access because there is a plenty of them, wonderful storefronts, um, like Shopify, for example. It does it all. It's a place where you can go and just open up your own e-commerce website. They take care of credit card payments, the website, they build it all. And then essentially people go on to the website that we built through Shopify. They place the order. Shopify processes it. We have the clothes here that we designed and we warehouse. And then because we're so small and it's just two of us, we pack every order, we tape it up, we write a nice personal
What?
note, and we take it to the post office. Yeah, yeah, that's the way it goes.
What do you mean?
We
It's
live.
two of us.
It's me and Ryan. It's me and Ryan Engel. That's it. That's it. It's just the two of us.
And who's in the warehouse?
Me and Ryan.
Oh, who's going to the post office?
Me and Ryan.
Who? What?
Yes, that's the thing. And by the way, let me relate this back to radio. There's this stigma in radio that call screening is the least important job in radio. I always argued it was the most important because
Mm-hmm.
you're the last line between someone who either has business being on the air and someone who doesn't. So the listener is going to hear who the call screener puts on. The show is going to be dictated for 15 seconds to 60 seconds based on the decision that call screener makes. You might think he's the lowest guy in the totem pole, but he is touching the product before it goes on the air. What I like about being in the warehouse and everything is we're touching the product every day. We can quality control it. We can write nice personalized notes to people. We are always on top of our inventory because we see what's in here and what's out of here. And so we're very on top of the business because we touch every part of the business.
No way. But
Yeah.
it says that on your Instagram, Nation Golf, that they have 11,000 followers. It started in
Yep.
2008. So, and you just jumped in right now?
I jumped in 2019. Nation Golf started as a tournament out in Indian Wells to honor Ryan's grandfather, who threw a 30-year tournament. He passed away. Ryan picked up the baton, threw a tournament that started 13 years ago. So the foundation for Nation Golf started in 2008. It was called Nation Golf, but at the time, everyone was just wearing stuff, and Ryan thought, I want to make clothes, since no one else is doing it, that we can wear here that look correct. And so he started making his own clothes, um, doing it for a while. When I met him in 2019 and pitched myself to him, I met him through Instagram. I saw Nation Golf on Instagram and was like, these are the sickest threads I've ever seen. Why are there only 1,800 followers? What's going on here? I got to go find out. So I went down, we met, I took him to dinner, and we discussed it. I said, you got the best stuff in the world. What's wrong here? Like, why is this not bigger? It should be bigger. And he was like, I've taken this as far as I can take it as one guy. If you're the right fit, I would love for you to help me take it to the next level. So that's what it is. It's us two for the last 2 years, but Nation has been around since 2008.
Wow. Okay, and the logo, that's his grandfather?
Yeah, that's a caricature of his grandfather. Um, I'm going to mess around here really quick. I'm going to show you what's right behind me.
Okay.
So right behind me, you can see the first pin flag from the
Yeah.
tournament.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's kind of blurry, but
But no, you see it.
basically, he took that and he put it through Adobe Illustrator, cleaned it up a little bit, gave it just a touch more modern look. So that is his grandfather, Tom Lycan. That's a caricature that him and his wife at the time, who's Ryan's grandmother, obviously, that they got down at some boardwalk or something. And it was on the pin flag forever at Tom Lycan's annual scramble. And then Ryan decided, I'm going to use this as the company logo. Now, I was instantly drawn to the logo because it says so many things to me.
Yeah.
It's timeless for one. I think that logo is the best in golf. I think you could have that for the rest of the time, and it would look as cool whenever as it does now. I love the smoking cigar, the torpedo cigar. It's a classic look. I like the hair all done up, the big hard collar. And then this guy just looks like he's having a great time, but he also looks styled too. So that's
Yeah.
that's another thing about Nation is like we want to have more fun than anyone, and just look the best doing it.
Yeah, so like if you're listening on the podcast, make sure you go and check out Nation Golf on Instagram, and you'll see everything there. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm looking at the picture, and it's like that man right there, that caricature, looks like he just had 18, and then he had himself a nice martini lunch, and you know what? He might just go put on some shorts, and he might just hit a back nine, quick back nine with one of the grandkids for a little muni, you know.
That's it, with the cigar hanging from his mouth, having a good time, enjoying life. Golf is just a celebration of life, right? It's all the best things about life. It's companionship, it's fellowship, it's being outside, it's spending good time with people, it's not looking at your phone, it's connecting. And every now and then we all run into a really good shot that makes us feel really good. And so it's really hard to go out and play golf and have a bad time unless you're a dick and you are playing it for the wrong reasons. You're not on tour. So if you're going out there and you're trying to go low, we think you're missing the point of what golf really is. You know, you should be going out there and you should be trying to be the best and most fun guy to play golf with. You need to be the guy when you're done with 18, the other 3 guys in your cart, they desperately want to play another 18 with you just because they want to spend more time.
Yeah, when people ask me, what did you shoot? I said, at least 6 beers. Like, that's...
Yeah, I love it. Yes, I mean, that's
like,
the right answer.
What are you going to do? Like I always tell people, like, we're not keeping score. Like, you and I, we have a lot of similarities because we both run. We actually did the Long Beach Half Marathon at the same time the last couple of years.
Nice.
Yeah, and people are like, what was your time? I'm like, I finished. Like, what do you care? Like, that's what it is. Like, when I've run the marathons, a mile 20 or 21 there by UCLA, the LA Marathon, there's people there giving you tequila shots. Hell yeah, I stop and have a tequila shot there. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. Golf, go get loaded, go have fun. I mean, obviously, you want to get better because when you're playing with your friends that are actually good and there's some gambling going on, yeah, but you don't want to be that guy that's so uptight all around. Like, we played with those guys. We got rid of those guys. I have a good crew, good core, and it seems like you and I, oh man, we're gonna get together. We're gonna have a good old time, man. Our people, my people, your people. Time. Hell yeah, because we get it, man. We get it.
That's it. It's about getting it. Golf is about getting the right parts of it. You mentioned you lost those guys who were uptight. Like, they're not fun to play with. I hate playing with guys who like miss a putt or hit a bad shot and they're like, God damn it, fuck, you know, and you're just like, you just brought down not only yourself but the 3 people because we don't know how to act around you now. Like, this got really weird. This got really serious for you. And we're not saying like, you know, you have to be a hacker to have fun. That's not what we're saying. There is a degree of this to take it the right amount of serious so you can have a good pace of play and you're not holding anyone up. You got to know your etiquette because that's important in golf. But it's not the tour out there. There's no cameras. You're not getting a card. You're not getting a big cardboard check at the end. Just chill out if you miss a shot. Golf is hard. Everyone needs to accept that. It's a very hard game, you know?
It's better, you know, like, how did you get mad? Like, why am I going to get mad? I'm golfing on a Tuesday. Like, what else do you want me to do? It's Tuesday at 9 o'clock and I'm golfing. Like, my life is good. I live a simple life. All right,
that's it.
Okay, so now we're going to go a little rapid fire with you back to your radio days. Without saying any names, as a producer, you're dealt with rejection all the time from people who say, I don't want to come on the show. If you're going to whatever your playoffs or Radio Row and Super Bowl, no. Who, you're going to have twofold. Who was the nicest to you, all right? And without saying names, give me the story of who was like just the biggest jerk.
Oh my gosh.
I'll start off. So for me, just so you can, one time in a Dodger clubhouse, game over, extra inning games, the dude does his walk-off interview on TV, on the field, comes back, the score is 1-0. Obviously, we only want to talk to him because it was a walk-off homer. He walks by us. It's like after 11 o'clock, maybe close to midnight. He looks at it, he goes, oh, you guys are here? I'm like, oh, fuck, we're gonna have that night. Goes, takes the longest shower. Who else are we going to talk to? It's 1-0. It's a walk-off homer. Comes back, he's like, oh, you guys are still here? I already did my interview on the field. Me, and I'm like, I don't know what got me. It was the only time I ever did it. I was like, you know why we're fucking here? Just fucking talk. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I should not have done that. Yeah, but then he took another 15 minutes, and then it was just like that. I was like, Then the next day, hey, guys, how you doing? And I'm like, don't be a dick. Just don't be a dick. So one of the veterans had a talking to that guy. I'm like, dude, don't do that. Like, they have a job. It was a rookie, but I was like, all right. But yeah, that was the only time I actually said something.
That's a great story. I love that you stood up for yourself.
I shouldn't have.
Well, but
I
you
shouldn't have
can
said
only.
we just fucking talk. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, I love that story because I'm not in the business anymore. So I encourage it. Um, I'm having. I will come up with a name for, or come up with a story for the meanest or the rudest. But the nicest guy I've ever talked to in sports happens to be here in LA, and he's the manager of the Dodgers, Dave Roberts.
Oh yeah.
Um, it's just unbelievable how nice he is because unlike you, I'm not in the locker room talking, making face to face contact. So he has no reason to know me, but he's the type of guy when I would pick up and say, "Hey Doc, this is Adam Hawk with the Jim Rome Show. Great to have you on. I got Jim standing by. Let me put you on hold." He'll take you right after this last commercial. He would say, "Thanks, Adam. Really appreciate that." He would do his 15 or 20 minutes with Jim. I would pick up to say thank you. And this is a really small thing, but it's huge when you're working the phones. He would always say afterwards, "Hey, thanks, Adam. Really appreciate that." And just the fact that he would remember my name after doing 15 minutes with Jim, keep that name in his head to say it back to me, it makes you feel really important with a really important guy who I've never met face to face, but he's just so well mannered and
Yeah.
he was just a joy always to speak to because he made you feel important. So I loved talking to Dave Roberts. Um, Man, I'm trying to think of it's different in radio because these people they're booked and so they're not really
Oh,
like
okay. All
yeah
right.
they're not terrible to you. Um, as we continue the conversation, I'll think about
There'll be
if I
some names.
had.
All right, now,
Yeah,
okay, you were the phone screener for the Jim Rome Show, one of the most popular shows that have spawned off so many different shows. I listened to him in high school when he used to do his remotes at Nationals here in Southern California before he went to the before he went to the 690, 1150 split, all that other stuff, before all that other stuff.
yeah.
So Rome was the guy that everybody was emulating with the jungle and everything else. Now, you, as the phone screener, had to make sure that the calls got on. Have a take, don't suck.
Yep.
What were some of the times where you told somebody ever get on that shouldn't have been on?
All the time. But also, I also really believe that the very first obligation you have to your audience is to entertain them. And if there is a really bad caller who I know is going to be so bad that it's funny, and then they're going to get ripped on Twitter and ripped on the next phone call and ripped on emails, that was worth putting on because
Okay.
at that point, entertaining the audience. So I would love. One of my favorite things was putting on bad callers who had no business doing it. But Jim had this saying, "Give me an A or give me an F. Don't give me anything in between. In between sucks. You don't want a C. You want either a great caller or you want the worst one ever." I had a knack for finding the worst ones ever because there's a lot more people that suck at calling than are good at it. So I would always look for those people. Um, and yeah, there were a few like who would get on the air and just say horrible, horrible things. Thank God for the dump button, because Jim, his whole thing is like smack talk and everything.
Ah.
So we had one guy say something. It was the most grotesque thing I have ever heard in my life, and luckily we were able to dump it in time. It was so disgusting. I Yeah, and luckily we dumped it. But that would have been my ass if that went out over the air. But thank God for the dump.
Did you
Yeah,
miss it?
and I get what it is, but it's horrible. You'd have to warn your viewers ahead of time.
Yeah. Do you miss it?
Um, Not yet, not yet. I wonder if I will. I think I equate it to like a breakup. Like if you're the one that got dumped, I could see how you would miss that. But since I was the one that walked away from it, I don't miss it yet. Also, I had to wake up at 4 in the morning for that job. I definitely don't.
Oof.
Yeah, you never get used to that. People are like, "Oh, you must have got used to that." You will never
No.
get used to waking up that early. So I don't
No.
miss it yet. What I really miss, Beto, is the same thing that all the athletes say that they miss when they retire. When you ask an athlete what they miss when they retire, the first thing they always tell you is they miss the guys.
Yeah.
So I miss the guys that I worked with. I don't necessarily miss the job yet.
How much fun are you having?
Too much, honestly, way too much fun, Beto. And I'm not just saying that. Part of the reason why I left is because it's just too much fun. It's cigars and scotch and selling stuff, and like when you hear your phone go off when yeah, I love it when Shopify notifies you that you got an order. It's too much fun.
I'm showing all my beers that I have right next to me. Because when I normally do my podcast, we usually drink with the person. But there it is. But we can't do it right now because you got a business to run. You got a big business.
Part of the business is smoking and drinking. So I wish I would have known. I put some swing lubes away. But so anyway, so I'm having way too much fun. We've figured out a way to make golf our business, and so we get invited to go play golf with a lot of people, and you say yes to a lot of that. So you're out playing golf a lot, and it's been really fun.
Living the dream.
Living the dream. Very apropos title. But yeah, and the way we found each other on Instagram was super cool too. The internet has a way of making the world a very, very small place, and I'm really happy that it happened that way. I was like, Beto Duran likes our stuff. He's posting about our stuff. I've been listening to this guy forever. He's on TV and radio. This is super cool. So that was kind of like a fanboy moment for me, and so I was like, wow, this is cool. I got to connect with this guy.
And I told you right away. I was like, dude, I want you on the podcast. You're like, well, you gave me the corporate pitch. Come down to the office. We'll do this. We'll do that. I'm like, no. Like, dude, you just quit an amazing job to go chase an amazing job. That's living the dream right there. You're the epitome of why I do the podcast. And I'm glad we're able to connect and tell your story, man. And next time we're talking, we're going to be in person. We're going to be golfing. I know that. Maybe in a couple weeks, I'm going to come down to Orange County. And we'll get after it, man. All right, now final pitch on the show close. NationGolfCO.com is the website. I am Adam Hawk is your social media. Nation Golf is the Instagram where people want to follow you, and everything is done online. So if I order today, when do I get a shirt?
I'll put it in the mail in the next 10 minutes. You'll have it either
tomorrow
or the next.
Stop
I'm serious. We're here packing orders. That's what we do.
Okay, so if I buy a shirt right now, I go to Nation Golf on the Instagram, I go to View Shop, and I'm going to buy a Blue Galaxy hard collar golf shirt for $69. Very nice.
Yeah, we need to grow up. Yeah, I didn't set the prices, but yes, we need to grow up. Yeah,
but it's a good price.
Thank you.
I order it, and boom, it's delivered tomorrow.
We hope, because I'm going to put it in the mail tonight, and you live locally, so we would hope that would get to tomorrow. It would not get to you any later than Friday. Friday would be
You got to be kidding me, man. It's supposed to be like 10 to 14 business days.
No way. If your order takes more than 3 days, we did something wrong.
Stop it.
Yeah. We get it out quick.
Okay, you guys are only shirts right now, or do we got pants too?
We do hard color golf shirts. We do visors. We're bringing in 6 brand new hats. We're bringing in a new T-shirt line. We don't do pants. Everyone asks us about pants because we advocate hard for wearing pants.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. It has nothing to do with like being hoity-toity. It has to do with how much better you look and feel. You really do feel better. And everyone's like, oh, these guys wear shorts on the tour. Imagine Tiger Woods in 2019 winning the Masters in shorts. How bad that would look. And then they put a green jacket on him, and he's wearing a blazer with shorts. No one wants to see anybody in shorts, believe me.
Find it. I'll go buy some damn pants.
Yes. So here's the thing with the pants. It's way easier to do shirts because we have to make them in 6 different SKUs, aka sizes, small up to XXX, sometimes 4X. If you were to make pants, all the different inseams, all the different lengths, we would be a lot of inventory and a lot of product. Pants are so specific to people. So we're actually talking about doing that next year, but just kind of doing like 4 cuts. And then once you get them, you have to go get them tailored. Like,
all right.
Go get them tailored to you.
That's not that hard. That's not that hard.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. This is all worth it. Once you do it once you have this shirt, once you have the pants, you put it on, you feel really good. It's like the extra 5 minutes it takes to look nice playing golf makes you feel better for 4 or 5 hours.
That's it, man. I already told you I want a lavender shirt. That's a demand I'm making. I want a lavender shirt.
You have something close to that coming out. I will put it aside for you. Be the first one. Yes, we have a brand new line dropping in 40 days. We're very excited about it.
Oh,
yes, and don't you dare order that shirt until you text me for a discount code, okay?
Oh, we got discount codes too? All right, go to Adam Hawk's social media. I am Adam Hawk, and tell him you want a discount code. Simple as that.
Yep.
See,
you got it.
Tell him you came from the podcast. All right, there it is. So tell him you came from the Living the Dream podcast, and you want a discount code. I am Adam Hawk, and he'll let you know. And if he doesn't respond to you, well, it's because you probably did something wrong.
Hey, you know what? In fact, you don't even need to reach out. I'm going to make a discount code right now called LTD for Living the Dream 20. LTD 20
Oh,
gets
no,
any
no, actually,
listener.
can you do Beto 20?
Beto 20.
There,
BETO 20.
all right. We got a discount code now?
Yes, 20% off.
Shoo.
Yes. BETO 20.
Bam, people. How long does that last?
It can last forever, and it'll just be a one-time code, so you can use it once. Your people can use it
Oh,
once.
snap.
Beto, you yourself get a much better discount. So I got to text you a better discount. Okay.
Shoot, I'm coming. I just want to play golf, bro. All right, so there it is. So there it
I
is,
want
people.
you to see this place too.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, I'll be going down there. Once the kids go back to school, I am free. So I am coming down to San Clemente, you said?
It's San Clemente. You'll love it. We built
yeah.
out a little clubhouse. We've got scotch. We got cigars. If it doesn't look like I'm looking at you right now, it's because I'm creating the BETO 20 discount.
Hell
20%
yeah.
off. Yeah, so your listeners and viewers get a one-time 20% off discount.
There it is. Adam Hawk hooking you up, Nation Golf.
Now, it's live, baby.
Look at that. Just like that. So order a shirt from Nation Golf, Beto 20. Order a visor. Actually, one of the visors. The visors are pretty snappy, man. Those are pretty
You'll
nice.
love the visor, man. You got the great hair, too. That's why you want to wear a visor.
Hell
because
yeah.
as soon as you take it off, you walk right in, your
Like
hair
that.
still looks great.
There it is.
Yep.
Adam, all right, final thing. Best advice you can give for somebody who's chasing their own dream.
What you said at the beginning, jump in, go all in, give it your all, even if you think it's not exactly what you want to do, but it's close. Just do it and see what happens. Also, be the absolute nicest person in the building that you're working in. People love to talk well about and promote nice people. If you're someone that someone wants to be around, that goes a long way. So you can outwork everyone, but if you're a dick doing it, it doesn't matter. So outwork those people, but also do it with extreme kindness. Be great to everyone. Be nice to people. Learn people's kids' names. Just be a great human being to people, and they will continue to bring your name up when opportunities pop up. Be nice. That's all you got to do.
Damn, that was awesome. Damn well said. Adam Hawk, appreciate you. Good luck to you. I got your cell phone number. I'm going to be texting you all the time. I'm going to let you know that I went and shot a 72 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
you know.
Hey, if you shoot a 72, I would like to know about that. That's great.
I'm going to shoot a 72 on the front nine because I got priorities.
Perfect.
My priority, I got a Monte Cristo and I got a Romeo Julieta. That's what I'm on right now. So those are my jams. That's what I care about. Adam Hawk, appreciate it. As always, go to Nation Golf. Use the code BETHO20. You get 20% off any kind of gear that you get from them. Appreciate you, man. And honestly, I don't say this much often to people, but I am so jealous of what you're doing. Like, you're making your own path and you're going after exactly what you want, and you're doing it on your terms. And that's fantastic, man. So good luck to you, and I'll be talking to you. And this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship right here. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate it. All right.